Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Let's Be Clear. This is Carly.
And this is Toy Stories.
How are y'all doing today? How are you feeling? I hope you are checking in with yourselves. How about you, Toy? Have you been checking in with yourself?
I've been checking in with myself.
Yes. Okay, I had to bring it back. I'm really excited. You know, tomorrow my boo coming. My boo coming home. My boo coming. I'm sorry. It's been a long time and I miss her.
Yeah, excuse Carly and her craziness.
I know, but you know how I am. Like right before I see her, I get a little crazy.
I know.
This
is true.
Right now we're in a long distance, not relationship, but marriage. Ooh. So we're in a long distance marriage, and so I'm just excited to see my baby.
I can see, and I can tell, and I can hear.
It's tomorrow. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Here I am.
You know, first off, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting us. I think we definitely need to thank people who have been supporting us, emailing us, texting us, calling us, telling us that we're doing well, we're doing a good job. So if you like us, continue to support us, continue to tell everyone about us.
Yes, we appreciate y'all so much. We thank you for all the love and support. It was unexpected. So I've really been kind of humble about the whole situation, kind of chilling, but it's been awesome. Mm-hmm. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
It's great to hear somebody say that, they were able to get something out of what, our episodes were about. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really good feeling, and I can totally dig it. Mm-hmm. So, another week, another episode. Let's start off with our quote of the day.
Okay. The very thing we don't want to become, the very thing we don't want to be, may be the very thing that we may become.
Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. Can you say that one more again?
Is it heavy?
Say it one more again. One more again.
The very thing we don't want to be may be the very thing we become. Woosah.
That's a lot.
It is. It's kind of heavy.
It is. It's very heavy. I have an issue with being extra. Okay.
Oh, really?
Be quiet. I don't like to say that I'm a drama queen, but I am.
Will.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
I will take my extraness. I'm just a little extra, just a little eccentric, But, I get it from somewhere. And as much as all the time, I'm like, my mother is so extra.
Did you say that growing up, though? Did you think that your mom was growing up?
Yeah, growing up, I thought my mama was extra. Now I think my mother is extra. But now I see her mother being extra. And I'm just like, dang, Ani is like a hybrid of extraness. Like, and I am it. Mm-hmm. Like, and I swear, like, sometimes, like, it should be like if they had like an Oscar nomination for it, like the most dramatic performance and everything would be me.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad. And I try to check myself on it, but I really can't check myself on it. And I'm extra everywhere. I don't care where I am. I'm just this extra human being. As Doc will say, okay, Carly.
Well, you are having a truth moment.
Yeah.
Because I've called you extra from the door. And you always deny it.
But you know what, though? I don't mind my
You're growing up.
No, I don't deny my extraness. I know who I am.
No, you be like, girl, please. I ain't that.
You know why? Because I feel like you still have not accepted your extraness. Oh. And that's what it is. Because you know what? It takes one to know one. And you call me extra, but honey, you need to get right in that bucket with me. Come on, say hi to everybody. Say hi, extra.
And Jesus wept. I won't. I'm not extra.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
You like to think so.
All right.
Anyway, but like I said, if there was like an Oscar nomination for it, it would be me. Like I would win it all the time.
I believe so. And I can agree with that.
But
so growing up, did you look at your mom and be like, you are so extra, I don't want to be like that?
Yes. Let me tell you. Let me give you a
see, that quote is real.
It is very real, because let me tell you, prime example, driving, right? My mom is very paranoid when driving. Mm-hmm. And whenever like a 16-wheeler will go past her, she'll, oh, Jesus, and she's driving, she's very skeptical. People move too quickly. She's crazy with it, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get out this car. I'm not going to drive like this. Girl, here I am driving just like that. Mm-hmm. Paranoid every time my car moves too fast. Look at that person speeding down the highway.
And that person is really you, because you're a horrible driver. But anyway.
Okay. Do not believe the hype, people. Please do not believe the hype.
It's hot up in here, huh?
It's hot up in here, and I think my jacket's making too much noise.
So, okay. So you didn't want to become your mom.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you now come into the fact that you are your mom?
You know what? Yes, like Beyonce says, you look nothing like your mother. you look everything like your mother. I do. And that's like in every aspect of my life, actually. And it's kind of hard for me.
So when did you realize, like, I'm just like her?
Actually, it was like kind of like a recent type of thing, because I find myself doing things, especially about to get married and you're evaluating stuff, especially in your relationships.
Right.
You try to look for things that you don't want to be like, or what you don't want to bring into your relationship.
Right.
And what I found was that things that my mother did, I was doing in my relationship.
Like what?
Well, one, being extra. Two, not being straightforward with stuff, like kind of going around about it, being like, oh, I really want something. And I say it, I'm like, I'm just joking, but I really did want it.
Okay.
I like some of those things I didn't really like, or even in my previous relationship, staying in something too long that I'm not supposed to stay in. So I really didn't. My mom will fight to make something work. Regardless if it's hurting her, abusing her, she will fight to the end to make something work.
So do you think that's a good or bad thing?
To me, that's a negative thing. Because if it's abusing you, if it's hurting you, you shouldn't stay in something and try to make it work. If it's not good for you, if it's not making you happy. My mom used to be miserable. Well, let me just put it out there. My mom was miserable with my father.
Right.
She was not happy with him at all.
Right.
But she sat there and stood by his side, was his first lady, did everything for him. And this man did not treat her the way she was supposed to be treated, but she sat there and took it. And I found myself doing that in my previous relationship, just taking abuse and doing the same thing, like just staying in something you should not be staying in because you want security or because you want stability. For what? You got to make yourself happy. And I've seen how that has affected her life. And I didn't want to be like that, but I found myself doing these things, and it actually, like, me and my mom, we've been in this tiff, and we just got into it. Like, I was so angry with her because everything.
For staying?
Huh?
You
No,
were angry
I was angry with her because everything I saw in her that I didn't like, I was seeing in myself. So I was pissed.
Remember we had talked about that before, the mirror impact.
Yes.
Where you will see something in somebody else, and that very thing that you just don't like about them,
yes,
you possess it.
Exactly. And it was a lot in my mind, and I was just like, I don't want to be like that, but I am. Now, mind you, some of the things about her are absolutely great. She's a caring person. She is loving. Although giving your all to me is not a bad thing, but it can be a negative thing. But she gives her all, and she gives people the benefit of the doubt. And, she's a survivor. She's a hard worker. So some of these things, the qualities in her, I do possess. Like, I am
a survivor.
I'm a survivor.
Right.
And like I said,
give up.
Right. And I'm a hustler. My mom a hustler. She's still here. And my mom has had a very tough life.
Right.
And the thing is, although I look nothing like my mother, I look everything like my mother. So it's a lot. And I just see these things in my relationships and things I was trying to fix within myself.
So did you see those things, or did your partner point out those things? Or was it just collectively you guys just...
It was collectively.
All right.
Christy would call me... Christy. Sorry, baby. Doc would call...
Always telling somebody government.
Everybody's government. Doc, in this case y'all didn't hear it, Doc will always be like, all right, Cheryl.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay.
So when she met your mom, did she have like the aha moment? Like,
of
oh my
course.
God, you're just like your mother?
Mm-hmm. Oh. But you know what? The same thing happened with her. When I met her mother, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Right.
I understand.
Right.
So.
Right. Because we're so much like our parents anyways.
Right. And we try not to be.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Right.
It comes out. Mm-hmm. But I do think that you're right. There are certain things about our parents, whoever your parents may be, because your aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever it is that you just don't like, you have to really be cognizant of it, because it'll come out. And you'll be just like that. And I think sometimes you kind of stop yourself in your tracks, like, oh my God, I'm just like, him or her. You know what I mean? And then I do think there are a lot of times where you're in a relationship and they may point it out. And I think at that point you have to do, because I didn't know. I think the first time, so one of my issues is the fact that I can be very dismissive. Mm-hmm. I never realized that. I didn't, and I talk about it, you know, a lot freely. Not that it's not something I'm not working on. I am working on it. However, it is what it is, and right now I need to just own it and try to get through it and be better. But I was in a relationship, and the guy told me that I was so dismissive. I'm like, no, really? Give me an example. Like, really ready for the scroll? Because I got a lot.
Right.
But I think sometimes people have to point it out. And for me, it was important to figure out where it came from. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to get down to the nitty gritty, to the root of things, and figure out why am I so dismissive. And I do think being dismissive comes from a place of hurt and pain.
Right.
You know, and I definitely got that from my mom. Now, I didn't do any more research as to really where my mom got that from. I do think it probably stemmed from hurt. You know, especially like with men, just being hurt. And I definitely think that I picked that up too. You know what I mean? Because raising a single parent home, you kind of get that, I don't know, men aren't so favorable. You know, I had two great men in my life. However, at the same time, my grandfather and my uncle couldn't be my father. You know what I mean? So it comes from somewhere. You know, and I was like, dang, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I watched her do that and be so dismissive. And then here I am as an adult. And I'm like, am I like that? Dang.
Right.
Now what?
Right. How can I fix it?
Right. And it's really important to fix it because I know the impact that it had on me. And I don't want to, give that to somebody else.
Right.
And it's crazy because you would give that to the very person that you really care the most about. You'd be dismissive to them and be hurtful to them. And so definitely wanted to reroute that. Rerouting.
Right. I can totally understand that because I wasn't very dismissive because it wasn't about what my mother or my father did, but I can be very dismissive in certain situations because...
Oh, yes. Every time somebody comes to your to your desk and asks you for help. All right.
I want you people not to listen to her. I just want to let you know that your taxpayer dollars are being spent very well as I work diligently at work. So, anywho, but I was raised in a military environment. We moved every 2 years. So I can drop a friend in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And my thing was I had to really work on that when I got here because, or even as an adult, I'm just like, okay, if you piss me off, I could just dismiss you.
Right.
There's some people I keep close and dear to me because of the whole family aspect of things and,
right.
Creating your own family, especially in the situation I'm in, the whole gay thing and whatever. But I can find myself being like, you know what, it's okay. And I won't ever have to talk to you again. Right.
Because if you're dismissive, it just really means you just have a wall. That's the truth of the matter. I only allow you to get so close to me because if you get too close to me, then you can hurt me. So let me dismiss you before you dismiss me.
I never thought about it that way.
It hurts, but it's truth.
And that's a lot.
It is. You know what I mean? Because, I speak from life experiences. If I allow someone to get so close to me, then I develop feelings for them, whether it be in an intimate relationship or just a relationship, friends and coworkers, whatever it is. If I allow you to become part of, my little circle and the wall comes down, you have the potential to hurt me, because I have allowed you to, I invited you in. So if I keep you at bay and I dismiss you, it helps. It's my coping mechanism, it's, self-preservation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what, I don't know how this relates to it, but you know what helps me a lot, especially with people in my situation. I wish people would think like this, more, but in order for me to kind of love somebody, I have to understand them and where they've been.
Yeah.
And so with Doc, it was one of those things like, there was a patch in our relationship where everything was just we were just off and nothing was working. And I was like, what is going on? But I have to understand her. I have to see how she grew up.
Right.
And
that's so
in
important.
Her environment.
Right.
Because
you're a product of it.
Right. Because if I don't understand that, I'm not going to be able to love the person that you are.
Right.
And so I have to understand the person you are in order to love them.
Because you need to know their story. And I think, I didn't really mean to speak so much on my mom. However, I think with my mom, I was able to really get a grip on things when I understood her story. You know what I mean? Then I was able to... start the forgiveness process. And I was able to just let go and set free a lot of things in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I get it now. You know what I mean? I understand why you are dismissive. I understand why you are the way you are. It did not make sense to me growing up. It did not make sense to me as a young adult. However, as I got older, I'm like, what is it? And then sometimes you just have to put the time and energy into research and figure out what's really going on, because we are not the way we are just because. You know what I mean?
Right.
It happens over time. People have instilled and unfortunately have spoke some unkind words over our lives. And if we're not smart enough to denounce some of those things, that'll really jack you up, man.
Right. Because it's,
the
same thing with me. I had to do the same process with my mother.
Right.
In order to forgive, in order to just move on and build a relation with her, I had to figure out her history. I had to understand why she is the way that she is.
Right.
I had to figure things out. And like I said, I can understand.
And that's where compassion comes in.
Right.
Because I get it. I get your story. And I can just move with compassion because this is why you are how you are. And I just need to love you. And I was talking earlier about, a lot of times we pray that God fixes the other person. When the truth is, God really allowed me to love them like you want me to love them. You know what I mean? I don't need you to fix this person because really I need it to be fixed. Work on me because I'm not perfect.
Right.
But I would like you to change me so that I love whomever, my mother, my sister, my brother, the way they need to be loved. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking because it's a whole lot.
I know we went another way.
Right. Like, it's supposed to go right. She said go left. But I agree. Let me love them the way they need to be loved. I absolutely agree with that. I never, again, until today, I never actually thought about it that way. Not trying to change a person.
Right.
But let me love them who they are.
Think about it. We can't even change ourselves.
No, and I gotta love me for me.
Right. We can't change ourselves. This is why we be stuck in this rut in the first place. You know what I mean? So if it was that easy for us to change, ourselves, we would.
Right.
So how dare we have the audacity to say, God, I just need you to change Carly. She don't act right. Fix her, Jesus.
Fix Lord.
Fix me so that I can love Carly the way Carly needs to be loved. Say the things that I need to say to Carly that shows and displays love. Not change her. I mean, you ask God to change you.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think you get further in life with that mentality, that mindset, because after I changed the way I was praying, I think things just begin to happen. You know what I mean? Because I think it's such a self-righteous thing to say, change him, change her. And I'm pretty sure God be like, girl.
You mean change him. Change yourself. Change yourself, heifer. It's like, no. Jesus don't talk like that. He might.
Yeah. So I think it was a turning point in my life. And I think that it works. I think a lot of us, if we tried to implement that in our relationships, I think, to be honest, we would be a lot further along. You know what I mean? With the whole self-righteousness and just trying to work on ourselves so we can be a better whomever.
Right. In order to work on yourself, you have to understand where you come from, too, because you are absolutely a product of your environment.
Yeah.
So if you're going through some things and you don't understand what you're going through, look at your background.
Yeah.
Figure out your background to kind of understand who you are.
Yeah.
Because it takes two. My mother and father created this being right here, and I most definitely have qualities of the both of them.
Right.
So it's pretty deep, and also it can bring a lot of baggage into your relationship.
Baggage claim.
Right. It would bring so much baggage into your relationship. Like, for instance, when I remember my first serious relationship. All I used to do.
What, 12? 9? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, she lucky we are here, and I cannot walk out of this session. But I remember my first serious relationship. All I did was yell. And my girlfriend at the time was like, why are you yelling so much? Like, I didn't grow up like that. Like, why do you yell? No, I was just like, yelling's not right. Because...
But, yell about...
Everything. Everything was a fight,
Okay.
Can you take, you're only supposed to cook chicken for 45 minutes. What? We cooking for 2 hours in my house. Well done.
Shit. Oh, okay. Just a rah-rah mama.
I always yelled.
Okay.
Everything was kind of like a yelling match, an argument. But I had to realize when she pointed it out to me, I grew up in a household full of yelling. Like all we did was yell. That's how we communicate with each other.
But prior to that, you didn't even realize it?
No.
So she just kind of like checked you?
She was just like, hello, knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Why you yell so much? Like, why you gotta yell? Everything's not an argument.
So that was your reality check?
Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up in a lot of, like, just chaotic?
It was just a lot of arguing. Okay. Like I said in the first episode, I grew up in I had two types of lives. I had one where I had a, full family home. I had a mother, a father. My dad was a preacher. Mm-hmm. My mom was the first lady, 2 kids and everything. But that preacher life was kind of Greenleafy. And if you don't know what Greenleaf is, check out Greenleaf. I love that show. But
free advertisement.
Right. Free advertisement, but it's for you, Oprah. It's for you. Okay. But it was very Greenleafy. So with that being said, there was arguing in my house all the time. There was something always wrong being done. Something always need to be corrected. And so in my so funny, I'm just gonna put the story out there and I don't care. It's being transparent. There was a point where there was so much arguing in my household. It was funny. I was like 7 or 8 and it was just so much yelling and it was over something. It was probably something over so small, but I didn't know that my mom and dad were going through so many issues, especially with infidelity.
Right.
And I remember they were yelling, and me and my brother were just in the middle of the living room, and they were going back and forth. And I just screamed. I said, "Devil, get out!" I was 7 years old. Just get on out. I basically opened the door and said, "Bye. You got to go." Because this is not healthy. And
that was all that church in you.
It was all that church in me, honey. But it was very chaotic. So
then you brought that to
yes, because I didn't know anything else, especially when it came to a relationship.
Right.
The only relationship I seen
that's
was
so
with
important. The way our parents are, or like I said, parents or whatever household, however your household looked, it's so crazy how that's it. That's the only relationship you know. Mm-hmm. So you grow up thinking this is how it's supposed to be, unless someone tells you otherwise. Like this person told you. Like, well, I didn't grow up like that.
Right.
It seems crazy. And I could think of something for me. So I grew up always going to church on Sundays. Mm-hmm. Just you go to church, and after church, you go to, your grandmother's house, and it's the big mama thing. You eat dinner. That's all I knew. I never knew anything. I didn't even, 2 things. I didn't know other people didn't go to church on Sundays. So my classmate, we were talking about what we did over the weekend, and, she said something like, they watched TV and they went bowling. I'm like, on a Sunday? I didn't even realize that was an option. Mm-hmm. This is so crazy. I didn't even realize you can get fast food on a Sunday.
Oh,
I just didn't know.
That just made you ate good. That just really
I did because
good on Sunday.
Yeah, but that's how I grew up. I grew up with the whole. When I seen soul food, I was like, that is us. That's how I grew up. So that's all I knew. You know what I mean? I think that's what happens in life because you're just trained in certain areas that this is what it is. Mm-hmm. You do this throughout the weekday, and then you do this on Sunday, and it becomes like kind of just religious. Mm. You know what I mean? That's what you know. So when you talk about not knowing any better, I can definitely empathize with that because there was a lot of things I didn't know. Okay, you talk about the yelling. Mm-hmm. So one of my biggest flaws in relationships was not being able to talk in a nice way. Just forget the tone, the delivery. Just I'm talking about this mouth was nasty. Like any way I could cut you down, I most certainly would.
You have been delivered.
Delivered. Look at God. But seriously, so I didn't know. Now there are guys who pointed it out to me, but I'm like, so what? They're just talking. I think in life it just takes one instance that could be so like that would just slap you in the face, straight up reality check, and you'd be like, yo, wait, what is this? Why do I talk like this? I didn't have a clear picture. So my family gonna listen to this, they're gonna be like, she talks so much. But I didn't have a clear picture on how a woman was supposed to talk to a man. I didn't see it. So my grandmother was straight up Scorpion, like Scorpio, like rah-rah mama. Just little, just go in on my grandfather. My grandfather was well over 6 feet. This lady was maybe 5. Just raw. You know what I mean? Just a lot of I don't know, like anger or something in her. Great lady and everything. It's just that she just had a lot of hostility, I guess. So I didn't see that with my grandparents. So with my mom, like I said, it was a single parent home, so I didn't really see that. Aunts and uncles, I just didn't see the female, the wife, talking really nice to the man or the husband, whoever. So I didn't get that. You know what I mean? I felt like it was always some bitterness, like the angry, black woman, to be honest with you. So I didn't get that. I think, like I said, it takes one instance that just kind of like changes things and you just want to go a different way. You know what I mean? Like once you like how I describe insanity, you know what I mean? At some point you got to stop doing things the same way. If you want a different result, you have to do things a different way. And I'm like, you know what? I need to do better.
Exactly. I agree, because just example, like in my household,
right,
there was never any togetherness. And my mom and dad never had anything like romantic going on. It was outside of a military ball. That was it. But I never seen them being romantic. So I make sure, especially.
So who was your example of matrimony?
No one.
No one.
No one. Right. I feel like I had to learn some things on myself. What, the Cosbys? I mean, maybe, Whitley and Dwayne. Like,
we didn't even talk about the Cosbys because I just really thought I was going to Hillman.
Right, me too. Side note, I did not want to go to college at all because Hillman did not exist. I was so sad.
That was so mean.
It was very mean. They were rude and disrespectful with that one. But
so you didn't have a clear example.
No, but I make sure, especially in my marriage. And during our relationship, we're going to eat together. We're going to do things. There is not a night where we have dinner that we're not at the table together eating. Plates are made. It's togetherness. Like, and I have a law that, a law. It is a law in my marriage. But there's not allowed to be sleep. There's no sleeping in separate beds. If we're angry, we go to base, home base, which is our bed. It doesn't matter. At the end of the night, we are together because at the end of the day, it's us. So.
So you don't go to bed angry.
We might go to bed angry, but I'm telling you this: I don't care how angry we are. You will hold me. We will talk. We will be in home base. We're gonna be. What is it called when you go play hide and seek? Base. We're gonna be at base. So I make sure. In some shape or form that we're going to be together. Like, because I didn't see that growing up. We didn't eat together. We didn't do anything romantic or anything, but I try to pull in things where I can, like, when she moves back, I want to start doing candlelight dinners, like, every other night or something like that. I never really done that before, but.
So togetherness is eating together.
Well, you know what? For me, because we never did that.
You never did it growing up.
No.
All right.
But going out together. I mean, just having a strong, to me, I want to say a strong home front. Because I don't want to have, we do separate things. We have separate friends and everything.
Right.
But I want to make sure at home that we have time to check in with each other, even if it's at the dinner table. Because normally when we eat dinner, we're talking. We're having this conversation. We're just checking in. And in my family, there was no checking in. There was, you wouldn't know how I was doing unless you read my diary, which that's how my mother found out a lot about me.
Really?
Yes.
That was the worst thing of my life, my mom reading my diary.
That's how she found out I was gay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how my mom found out I like boys.
That's how you
like really like boys.
Oh, she found out she didn't put that butt on birth control. That's what she found out. She dragging you down to the free clinic. Come on, child.
No, that was 21. To all listeners.
You wish.
But it's good to know what it is that you want in your relationship, some of the things that you didn't see growing up, and making a habit to, you know what I mean? Like it seems like it's really important for you to do the whole, like, we eat dinner together. Because you're striving for the whole togetherness.
Yeah, you're right, because I want to make sure. Yeah. That's all I can say. Like, just make sure we have time to just check in with one another, because especially in this world with social media, all the entertainment, all the TV.
And so many distractions. To a relationship, yeah.
Right. I just want to make sure that and growing up, I didn't have anything but Nintendo. Was it Nintendo?
Yeah.
Right, and Nintendo to
the
distract
power pad.
Me. Right. That's the only
you
thing.
were rich if you had the power pad. Because the power pad was $150.
I don't even remember that, and that's sad that you remember that, because you really wanted it really bad.
I'll clean up.
Right. What I gotta do? What chores?
Yeah.
But it took you forever for $5 a week. But yeah, it's just important to me. I need to have that, but beforehand, I wouldn't do anything. We'll eat separately, we do whatever. But I took everything from my past relationships that didn't work out and brought them all over to this one. I'm like, let me just bring this forward. Let me just.
Right.
Yeah.
Baggage claim.
It's a bunch of baggage.
Yeah.
And like you said, we have to understand ourselves in order to move forward and to be better. And I had to recognize my upbringing. I had to recognize this, the events in my life that I went through, things that will affect you sexually, things that will affect you emotionally.
Right.
Everything. I had to look at everything in my life.
I think the beauty is when God places someone who understands you have a lot of baggage and just willing to help you unpack.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just think that's just the beauty of it all. And I think that he places that right person when it's time for us, because we do have a lot of baggage. And whoever says they don't have it, I mean maybe you don't have as much. However, we all come with baggage, because a lot of times we go from this relationship to the next, and we never take the time to unpack. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of like, me, for the last 3 weekends, I've been going out of town, and I've been using the same suitcase. Now, some things I didn't unpack because I'm like, all right, I can use that for the next trip. And I think that's how we live when in our relationships. We continue to bring some things, you know what I mean? So we have some residue.
Right. And it's kind of important to unpack. And you don't have to unpack everything, because it's just life. You can't unpack everything.
Right. But it's okay if you have a bra in there.
Right. It's okay. You can bring your carry-on. It's fine.
Right.
But you cannot bring everything with you into a relationship.
You don't need 3 coats.
You don't. you really don't.
Right.
Because everything, okay, for example, the whole rebound thing. I have a friend who got into a relationship, and she, women, when you're dating women, well, for me, women check out earlier before we leave a relationship. We go through a process where we check out.
Right.
So,
I think that's all women.
Right.
I don't care. I think we check out.
Right.
And once we've checked out,
we're gone.
Yeah.
Everything else will follow, but we ain't left yet.
Right.
But we ain't here.
Right.
Right. So,
it's autopilot.
Right. So you can leave a relationship and get into a next one, especially in the lesbian community. Women would just leave a relationship and go to the next one. But the fact is, regardless of what it is, you're still hurt. And there's something about the last relationship you never finished.
You didn't get the closure.
No, you need to get that closure. You need to take, you need to unpack and move forward. Because if you don't unpack, if you don't release the feelings, if you don't release the energy, if you don't just kind of woosah to yourself and be like, okay, I went through this, what I didn't like, evaluate. But you're not going to bring anything to the next relationship. Right. At all. And like I said, I was used to abuse. I was used to yelling. I was used to arguing. So therefore, I get into these relationships with these abusive, argumentative, people. And for what? I had to really evaluate, why would I purposely, because it was on purpose, I picked these people put them in my life to be with them. And it's because I didn't unpack anything. I didn't let go. I didn't evaluate. I just picked from one to the next.
But then I think that sometimes it can be deeper than that. I think sometimes when we place ourselves in situations that we know doesn't bring us any good, I think it has a lot to do with how we feel about ourselves and where our self-esteem is at. Because if I strategically place myself in a relationship where I'm the side chick, where I'm the mistress, where I'm anything less than who I'm supposed to be, who I was placed on this earth to be, then there's something to be said about who I am and what I feel about myself. And so how dare I expect someone to respect who I am when I don't respect.
And I absolutely 100% agree with you, because that's what it was. I had to evaluate how I feel about myself. I had to go through the whole self-love process, accept me for who I am, understand me, understanding my past, and then, move forward that way.
Absolutely.
Because I was in a rut.
Right.
I remember just being in these horrible relationships for no reason.
Right.
For no reason. Like I
willingly accepted the invitation.
And remember how I told you about that lady?
Shout out to the red flags again.
Yeah, hello. Remember I told you about the lady who I was at the club and she was in this all red dress.
Oh yeah.
Out of nowhere, she just took off her shoes, grabbed my hands, and she was just like, "I want to be your best friend." But she looked dead at me, like she could see it in me, like on me. It was on my face. It was on my skin, crawling, saying, "You abuse yourself on purpose. You do this to you on purpose. Like, stop it. Like, you gotta stop. You're undeservingly just be abusing yourself. You don't need to."
So I think a lot of times, and I may be reaching, but I do feel like a lot of times, I think if I place myself in this relationship where I know I'm going to be violated, disrespected, I know it's unhealthy, what example did I have before me that allowed that to be okay? You know what I mean? Like, was it the fact that I had an absentee father that made me feel like no one was held accountable? You know what I mean? I can bring anybody, but they didn't have to, check in with this male. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that allows me to think that that's okay? Because I think that the way we grow up allows us to feel like certain things are okay.
And I agree.
And the list can go on and on and on about what we deem as acceptable. Because we shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? But what was my mom involved in? So my first relationship was a very, very, very abusive relationship. So I did the whole physical abuse thing and everything. I didn't know until it kind of came out, because like one day I finally had to go home. So I got beat up, but I needed to stay at the house until like my eye kind of went down a little bit. So then he could release me to go back to my family. So, it was the whole thing, they trying to do like the intervention thing.
He's like, no, I love him.
Yeah, I love him. And I was serious. Like, I love him. I don't know why he just blacked my eye. I love him. Maybe I should have said the right thing. So then it became the, what is it called? The abusive.
Mun something?
No, not that. What the lady feels like it's her fault. You know what I mean? We don't see it in a lifetime. It's like they have some type of this, oh my gosh.
Is that Mun's? What's it called?
No, that's not it. Anyways, I felt like I felt like I deserved it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. It's gonna come at the end of this.
Yeah, right.
Session.
So we're having a brain freeze. It's the relaxed one.
Right.
We too relaxed.
Right.
So anyways, I felt like I deserved it. And my mom had a conversation with me probably like a year after that, and kind of told me about the relationship that she was in prior and how she was abused in this relationship. And I was just thinking, like, I never even knew that part of my mom. And it's crazy how things just begin to shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, she went through this, and I had to go through it too. Perhaps if she would have been more transparent and would have shared that, maybe, who knows? I had no idea that this happened to her. You know what I mean? That she stayed. Not only that it happened to her, but that she stayed. And for a while, I stayed. Well, for a good 3 years after, I stayed. But it's something to be said about staying in them type of relationships, because what did I feel about myself?
Yeah.
What did I see? What did I not see?
What makes you think it's okay?
Right. And why did I feel like I deserved it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I deserve to have this pain, inflicted upon me?
Right.
Why?
I thought I asked myself the same question.
Yeah.
Like I said, I see my mom go through, but it's funny you said that too, because I was in a relationship when I was young. And he was an older man, and he shouldn't have even been messing with me. It was 10 times illegal. And he should have been locked up for a very long time. But the funny thing is, he was abusive.
Right.
He was disgusting. Ugh, he was disgusting.
But you liked him?
I felt like he was my first love. Like, this dude had such a power over me. Mind you, I was young. I was like
9.
You a heifer. No, I was 15. I was 14, 15 when I met him. And this man was locked up and everything. It was so funny. And he used to tell me what I wore to school that day.
Really?
I put my dad's phone bill from his collect calls. He was like locked up for a little minute. And then
So you were 14 talking to somebody that was in jail.
Right, but he wasn't in jail at first. Like, we were together, and then next thing you know, he got locked up for a little bit, and then he came back out.
You were that girl.
I was young, and I was dumb and naive, and I had very low self-esteem, so it didn't even matter. But the point is, I was in this relationship, but come to find out, my mom had the same type of relationship, her first love, actually her first husband. And you want to hear the weird and scary thing about it? Why do they have the same last name?
Wait, so how many times was your mom married?
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, she was married twice. But they had the same last name.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. The same last name.
Wow. Same scenario.
Same everything. Except, like, this man almost killed my mom. Like, I didn't want to almost kill.
I think it does something to them. Like, the whole relationship that your mom had with the guy, I think it did something to her. And then I think it just kind of gets pushed down to us. Mm-hmm. Whether they spoke about it or not, clearly they waited to after the fact and they spoke about it. I think the damage was already done. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then they just kind of like passed it down to us. It kind of like trickled down.
And I'm going to say this, some things are just carried through the womb.
The womb is so strong.
It is carried.
Girl, we cannot even go there.
Right.
Oh, preach, preacher.
Right.
We can't talk about the womb.
And I got to make sure that I'm whole and right before I have a baby.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pass anything down to my child that is going to take her forever to fix.
Because them spirits,
baby,
through conception, I mean, that's another topic. That's for another day. Mm-hmm. But y'all send us some feedback on
that. But it's something we have to think about, and we have to evaluate our backgrounds. And I think if you're trying to start a relationship, especially if you're a woman of a certain age, a man of a certain age, look at your background, understand yourself before you get into something serious, before you hurt somebody else and hurt yourself. Period.
Because hurt people
all the time.
Right.
So
I was going to say, speaking of that, when you are going into relationships, I think it's good to have the talk. So one of the talks I have or had is about affection. So be quiet. So I'm not the most affectionate person. I am growing. Mm-hmm. I'm evolving.
You're evolving.
So
she holds hands, y'all. She actually holds somebody's hand, I think. And that's a big I think. We don't know for sure.
I'm growing
We got to get confirmation on that.
So anyways, that's been a hang up for me because I have dealt with guys who, in my later years, who were more affectionate than myself. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, my affection was kind of almost non-existent. And then I had to figure out why I was really like that. Definitely from my family. So anybody in my family that's listening to this, just like, yeah, she is so right. Amen. So we didn't grow up in a family that says, we never said I love you. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I didn't really understand that people said that until I went away to college. And I went home with one of my other cousins, and they said it all the time. So I'm like, why do y'all keep saying that? Like, we just seen y'all, and they're like, I love you, I love you. So I went back home trying to take that back home to my family. It was not received well. They were like, is she dying?
Right. What's wrong with you?
They're like, why? Why would you keep saying it? And it made people uncomfortable because, it was awkward. It made people uncomfortable because that was not what they they knew. You know, we didn't grow up like that. The way we show affection is that we do. And what I do know to be true, what I'm learning today, is that people just have to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I could cook dinner for you. I could take care of you while you're sick. And yeah, that may show love. I still need to say it. You still need to hear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
My actions, need to sometimes be followed up with, me saying it vocally. Like, I do care about you. I do love you. So that's definitely one of those things that I grew up that just wasn't our thing. And so I feel like now, having, trying to have a family and moving forward in that area is that my kids cannot be born into that paradigm where they feel awkward to say I love you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if I feel awkward to say I love you to my loved ones, I'm definitely going to be awkward when it comes to a male or whoever I decide to date or marry in my life, telling them that I love them. You know what I mean? I can't even tell my family. You know what I mean?
That's deep.
It is.
It's really deep.
Yeah. Affection is something.
It is. My father was never affectionate, but my mother was overly affectionate. Like, it was just too much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your mom was overly affectionate?
I feel like it. You know, I feel like she loved her children. She'll say to this day her children saved her life. So therefore, if all else fails, my kids love me. I think that was her motto. Her motto. Her motto. Why can't I speak? I just want to stop with my.
Wait. I know we can't even get into this, but
right.
So your mom feels like her kids saved her life?
Yeah, and that's like a whole story. But
it is.
So
that's pretty deep,
right? With that being said, where was I about to go?
I'm sorry.
It's the wine. Dang, toy. With that being said, so I don't have a problem with affection. Mm-hmm. I don't think. I had a problem with doing. Oh, that might be an issue with doing for people. Not like that. So back in the day, my ex, my first relationship, I wouldn't do anything for her. I refused to. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't realize how much that was harsh to her. Oh, can you rub my back? Never.
Oh, really?
Can you wake up and just have a conversation or even wake up to have sex? Absolutely never. I'm not going to do that for you. It's not my fault you have a night job, that type of thing.
So what? Because that's definitely not you now.
It's not me. I will walk over backwards, go to the moon and back for my love.
Right. So what changed?
Knowing that didn't work. That was not a good thing. It's not a healthy thing.
Yeah.
That's almost slightly abusive to the person.
You know what I think? I think that in life, you will meet the right person that will change everything.
Right.
Period.
And I'm
I'm like, cook? What?
Right.
Get out of here.
I'm a cook. What? Never.
Remember that the guy I was like, girl, call me back. I'm baking.
Right.
And I made him the nastiest cake. And it was stuck to the pan. However, in my mind, I was like, you know what? I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to do this. And I'm going to make this cake from scratch. Forget Betty and the crocker. I'm going to make this. Okay. But I think that's just how I think you meet that one person that just kind of changes things. Like Jasmine Sullivan, I love her, that make you cook and clean. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah. And that's Doc all day long. I do things in this relationship, in my marriage, what I guess I'm supposed to do, that I've never done before ever. Mm-hmm. So.
Because you meet that one person.
Right.
It just changed everything.
It does. And I just want to say this about cake real quick, because, if anybody knows me, this fat girl love cake. And I asked
Please!
Toy, I just want to put this out here. I asked Toy one time to make me an upside down pineapple cake.
Wait, hold up. Anybody that knows me, no, this is not my quality.
But she likes desserts, so she'd be able to do something. And she was learning how to bake.
Right. So, first of all, I can make good breakfast, okay? When it comes to lunch and dinner and desserts, that's not my thing.
It doesn't matter. You can do desserts. Quit faking. You can. So, anyway, I
asked cheesecake.
I asked her to make me a pineapple upside down cake. And this heifer made me a pineapple cake. It was the nastiest cake in the world. A pineapple cake. There was no pineapples in it. It was pineapple flavoring. Oh.
It was a lot of confusion in there. However, the cake was 8.
It wasn't by either one of us.
It wasn't by us. However, come on now. We know a certain person devoured the cake.
Yeah, I know that poor baby. She loved that cake.
And boosted my self-esteem up so
I'm glad
high.
it did, because I was just like, it's disgusting.
I left there feeling like Paula Deen.
Ooh, I was so hurt. I was so hurt.
Ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
so, a recap of all this.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
That was
kind of heavy, huh?
Right, and we didn't even really touch on half the stuff we wanted to touch on.
Yeah. It's always like that, though.
I know.
Because it kind of went into a different direction.
It did. Yeah. Than we expected it to.
But I think you could just learn so much about your past and how we were raised and the things that we do and don't want to take on to our next relationships. Mm-hmm. Like you said before, there's some qualities that you've seen in your mom that were good qualities. Definitely one of the qualities I know for a fact is being a survivor. Mm-hmm. So that's a great quality. You know, there's some things that, we need to drop off.
Right.
It serves us not.
Right.
And when we're trying to move in a direction with our family, just being better, there's things that we just really need to let go. And I think that, unfortunately, we get complacent and it becomes a part of us. And we just feel like, you know what, we've been doing it like this for this long, so it is what it is. And I think it takes some truth, us coming into our truth and saying, you know what, I no longer want it to be like this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Just change the dynamics of things.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be this way.
Right. And understand your background, understand your friends.
Understand your background.
Right. Understand your partner, your lover, anybody, your boyfriend, husband. Understand their background. If you're having an issue, know who they are. And if you absolutely know you cannot deal with the person they are, then you must leave. But know who they are by knowing where they came from.
And if you're dating somebody, you need to meet their family.
Amen.
You need to know if they family live out of town, you need to definitely be knowing who their friends are. Mm-hmm. Because you learn a lot about a person by the company that they keep.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Shout out to the last episode. Check your circle. You learn a lot.
Right. So, if you want to get in contact with us, if you want to chat with us about this episode, because this is a lot, y'all.
Email us.
Right.
Hit us up on Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
Facebook. Everything is at LBClear Podcast. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, at LBClear Podcast. Yeah. So you can most definitely hit us up there. Talk to us. We'll answer you back. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
I see
feedback, insight,
everything.
If you just love us, tell us you love us.
Yeah, just shout us out.
We love you too.
Mm-hmm. If you see Toy in the street, because she be out there running those streets, and give her a shout out, give her a hug or something. Show her some affection.
I was all in New Orleans, like, hey, it's LBClear Podcast.
Right. But anyway, lead us out on our affirmation, ma'am.
Okay. I am learning from my past and focusing on the future.
Oh.
How about that?
All right.
Catch us outside.
How about that? All right, y'all. Focus on your future. Have a great one.
All right. See you next time.
The world, I'm getting real love all over the world. Everywhere I go, I hear them screaming my name. And all I really wanted was the fortune and fame. Just to sit back, relax, and ride in my Cadillac. All my ladies out there working hard, I know you're feeling that. All my ladies